doing what is hard doesn't give you quick rewards. And we live in a world that's obsessed with quick wins, quick fame, quick results. But here's a truth most won't tell you. The hard road is the only road that leads to becoming unstoppable. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. We're taught early on to seek safety, to avoid pain, to pursue ease. And somewhere along the way, we begin to associate discomfort with danger. We think, if this feels hard, I must be doing something wrong. Or if I'm uncomfortable, maybe I should stop. But that's not true. In fact, it's often the opposite. Discomfort is not a signal to retreat. It's a signal that you're on the edge of growth. Every meaningful breakthrough in your life will first be felt as discomfort. It shows up as uncertainty, fear, effort, awkwardness, or resistance. It doesn't feel good in the moment, but that's the point. Growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Growth begins where comfort ends. Think about learning any new skill: public speaking, starting a business, building confidence, setting boundaries, waking up earlier, letting go of toxic habits. None of it feels good at first. Your mind and body resist. You want to go back to what's easy, familiar, and safe. But staying in that zone only guarantees one thing: you'll remain the same. You don't become stronger by staying warm and comfortable. You grow stronger by voluntarily stepping into the cold, by challenging yourself, by putting yourself in situations that test you, stretch you, even scare you. That doesn't mean recklessly running into chaos. It means making deliberate decisions to do what's uncomfortable, because you know it's what's necessary. Too often we wait for motivation to show up before we move. But that's not how it works. You don't wait to feel ready. You take action, and the courage comes after. Discomfort isn't something to run from. It's something to work through. Because on the other side of that discomfort is the version of you that you're trying to become. You'll never find clarity, strength, or resilience sitting still. You'll find it by taking that difficult first step, by choosing the gym when you're tired, by speaking up when your voice shakes, by showing up when no one is watching, by continuing when quitting would be easier. The people who seem confident, disciplined, and successful, they weren't born with those traits. They developed them by walking through discomfort daily. They were willing to feel awkward, to fail, to stumble, to feel vulnerable. And over time they got strong, not just physically or mentally, but emotionally too. They stopped fearing discomfort. They started trusting it. There's no shortcut to real growth. There's no hack around the hard work. Discomfort is the path. And the more you train yourself to endure it, the more unshakable you become. You learn that fear doesn't control you, that effort doesn't break you, that you're capable of far more than you imagined. You become the kind of person who doesn't flinch when challenges show up. You stop needing the situation to be perfect before you move. You act in spite of doubt. You lead in the face of uncertainty. You embrace pain as part of the process, not as a reason to stop. So the next time you feel discomfort rising, lean in. It means you're doing something that matters. It means you're stepping into a version of yourself that you haven't met yet. It means you're on the edge of something real. Growth is not always glamorous. It's often silent, slow, and uncomfortable, but it's always worth it. And the ones who thrive are the ones who decide that discomfort is not danger. It's progress. It's power. It's a sign you're on the right path. Keep going. The easy path is tempting. It looks smooth, predictable, safe. It promises less pain, less struggle, and fewer obstacles. And because of that, most people take it. They follow the crowd. They stay in familiar routines, avoid risk, dodge discomfort, and settle for what's convenient. But the truth is simple and unchanging. The easy path builds nothing. Nothing meaningful, nothing lasting, nothing powerful has ever come from taking the easy way out. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Confidence isn't built by avoiding challenges. Strength isn't developed by staying where it's safe. Everything you admire in others, resilience, discipline, success, courage, it was all forged in difficulty. It was built brick by brick through choices that most people aren't willing to make. The easy path feels good in the moment, but it steals from your future. It robs you of the chance to become who you were meant to be. It gives you short-term comfort at the cost of long-term greatness. And yet so many people choose it. They stay in jobs they hate because it's easier than risking failure elsewhere. They say yes to things they don't believe in because it's easier than standing alone. They choose instant pleasure, scrolling, distractions, excuses, because it's easier than doing the work. But what's easy now becomes heavy later. When you avoid the hard things, The hard things begin to control you. You lose your edge. You become reactive instead of proactive. You wake up one day and realize you're far from where you wanted to be, not because you lacked potential, but because you chose ease too often. Look around at the people who have achieved something meaningful. Their path was anything but easy. They chose the early mornings, the failures, the uncomfortable conversations, the lonely decisions. They didn't succeed despite difficulty. They succeeded because of it. They became who they are by doing the things no one else wanted to do. That's the irony of life. The hard path becomes easier over time, because it makes you stronger. But the easy path becomes harder, because it makes you weaker. When you push yourself, you grow, you stretch, you build inner armor, your capacity increases. The hard things stop feeling so hard because you've expanded. But when you avoid them, even the smallest challenges begin to feel overwhelming. Every time you take the harder route, when you speak the truth, when you show up tired, when you keep going after failure, you build something inside yourself. You build integrity. You build consistency. You build grit. These things compound. They form a foundation that no one can take away from you. The easy path builds none of that. It keeps you stuck in the cycle of almost someday and what if. It fills your life with half-finished goals, abandoned dreams, and unfulfilled potential. It gives you comfort, but no story worth telling. Choosing the hard path doesn't mean being reckless. It means being intentional. It means asking what's the right thing, not the easiest thing. It means sacrificing what's convenient for what's meaningful. It means delaying gratification now for the sake of something better later. If you want a stronger body, you have to lift what's heavy. If you want a stronger mind, you have to think through what's difficult. If you want a meaningful life, you have to walk the road that's uncertain, uncomfortable, and often uphill. Because the truth is, the hard path is the real path. It's the one that transforms you. It's the one that forces you to become more focused, more determined, more disciplined. It's where your character is tested and your resilience is built. The easy path might look inviting today, but 5, 10, 20 years from now, you'll wish you chose different. You'll wish you endured more pain in exchange for more purpose. You'll wish you fought harder instead of settling sooner. So don't be fooled by what feels easy. Choose what matters. Choose what challenges you. Choose what forces you to grow. Because the easy path builds nothing, and you were never meant to build nothing. Pleasure is seductive. It gives you instant gratification, immediate satisfaction, and a temporary high that feels good in the moment. It's why people scroll endlessly through social media, binge watch shows for hours, or indulge in distractions instead of pursuing their goals. Pleasure is easy. It's accessible, but it's fleeting. It fades quickly, and the emptiness it leaves behind can't be filled by more of the same. Purpose, on the other hand, is not always glamorous. It's not always fun. It doesn't always come with applause or validation, but it lasts. It roots you. It gives your actions meaning. It turns the pain into fuel, the setbacks into lessons, and the sacrifices into something worthwhile. Purpose doesn't just feel good. It does good. It moves you forward, even when you don't feel like moving. When you chase pleasure without purpose, you drift. You go through the motions, trying to feel better without ever getting better. You try to numb discomfort instead of facing it. You choose what's easy over what's right. And slowly, without realizing it, you become lost. Because without purpose, life loses its direction. You might be busy, but you're not fulfilled. You might be entertained, but you're not growing. You might be comfortable, but you're not alive. Living with purpose doesn't mean you don't enjoy life. It means you enjoy life on your terms, with intention, clarity, and depth. It means choosing what's meaningful over what's momentary. It means saying no to short-term pleasure when it distracts you from long-term fulfillment. Think of the people who inspire you, the ones who've built, led, created, or endured something powerful. They didn't get there by doing what was easy or pleasurable all the time. They got there by sacrificing comfort for impact. They chose focus over fun. They picked long nights over laziness. They didn't avoid struggle. They embraced it because their why was bigger than their want. Pleasure fades fast. That achievement, that new car, that party, that compliment, it all fades. But the feeling of knowing you were living on purpose, that you're building something meaningful, that you're becoming someone stronger, wiser, better, that stays. Purpose isn't a one-time discovery. It's a daily decision. It's showing up when you'd rather stay in bed. It's working on your craft when no one's watching. It's speaking up when your voice shakes. It's enduring the discipline, the boredom, the resistance, because you know where you're going and why you're going there. There will always be temptations to drift back toward pleasure. Your mind will whisper, "You've done enough. Take it easy. Just relax a little more." And sure, rest is important. Recovery matters, but there's a difference between rest and escape. One renews your energy, the other drains your purpose. When you live for pleasure, your life becomes a series of distractions. But when you live for purpose, everything becomes aligned. Your work becomes more than a job. Your challenges become part of your story. Even your pain becomes part of your power. So ask yourself, what are you chasing? Pleasure or purpose? One keeps you entertained. The other keeps you fulfilled. One pulls you away from your potential. The other pulls you deeper into it. Purpose requires effort. It demands patience. It forces you to grow in silence, to trust the process, and to keep going when there's no applause. But that's what makes it powerful. Because purpose doesn't just make you successful. It makes you whole. Don't trade what matters for what feels good right now. Choose what will matter tomorrow, not just what feels good today. Your future self is shaped by today's choices. And every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you build a life that lasts. Because pleasure fades, purpose builds. And in the end, it's purpose that will give your life meaning. Not how easy it felt, but how deeply it mattered. Talent is impressive. It turns heads. It makes things look easy. But talent alone is never enough. It might get you noticed, but it won't keep you at the top. It won't carry you through the hard days. It won't make you great, not without consistency. Because what you do once in a while is nice, but what you do every single day, even when it's hard, that's what defines you. That's what builds something real. And that's why consistency is greater than talent. People often overestimate the value of raw ability and underestimate the power of discipline. They think success is reserved for the gifted. But take a closer look at the people who win, who grow, who lead. You'll find something surprising. Most of them aren't the most naturally talented. They're just the most consistent. They show up every single day. Consistency beats talent. When talent doesn't show up, it wins in the long run. Because talent is a head start. But consistency is what takes you across the finish line. Talent might write the first chapter, but consistency finishes the book. It's the person who trains daily, even when they're tired, who wins. It's the one who writes when they don't feel creative. The one who learns when no one's watching. The one who works when everyone else is resting. Talent may open the door, but only consistency can keep it open. Consistency is doing the right things, even when no one's clapping for you, even when you're not seeing instant results, even when you're doubting yourself. It's about staying in motion, keeping the promise you made to yourself, long after the excitement has faded. That's where progress lives. That's where growth happens. The truth is, most people don't lose because they lack potential. They lose because they lack patience. They stop too soon. They're committed for a few days, a week, maybe a month. But when motivation dips, so does their effort. And that's where consistency becomes your secret weapon. You stop waiting to feel like it, and you start relying on the system you've built. You don't chase motivation. You build habits. Look at the best in any field: sports, art, business, leadership. What sets them apart isn't just talent. It's repetition. It's the thousands of quiet hours they put in when no one was watching. The early mornings, the boring drills, the failures, the setbacks, the loneliness of staying the course when everyone else moved on to something easier. That's what separates average from exception. Consistency is also how you build trust with yourself. When you consistently show up, you prove that your words aren't empty. You prove that you're reliable, dependable, and serious. You build credibility, not just through success, but through effort, through showing up when it's hard, through doing the work without excuses. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You'll miss days. You'll fall short. You'll make mistakes. But consistency is what brings you back. It's what keeps you in the game long enough to get better, stronger, wiser. It allows you to build momentum. And once you have momentum, everything gets easier. Not because the work is easier, but because you are stronger. So stop obsessing over whether you're talented enough. Start focusing on whether you're consistent enough. Talent is a gift. Consistency is a choice. And the great thing about consistency, it's in your control. It doesn't depend on luck, or background, or genetic. It depends on whether or not you're willing to do the work, over and over, until the results come. Because in the end, the most successful people aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who refused to quit, who kept showing up, who kept growing, improving,
trying, long after others gave up. Consistency doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. It builds discipline, grit, and self-respect. And those are the things that last. So remember, talent might be what gets attention, but it's consistency that builds legacy. Discipline is not loud. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't post highlights or seek praise, but it changes everything. It's the quiet force that separates dreams from reality, potential from achievement, intention from execution. Discipline is your superpower, not because it's flashy, but because it works. Every time, over time. It's easy to start. Anyone can get excited for a day, a week, even a month. But it's discipline that keeps you going when the excitement fades, when the results are slow, when the comfort of quitting whispers in your ear. Discipline is what makes you do the thing you said you'd do, long after the mood you said it is gone. In a world addicted to motivation, discipline is rare. Everyone wants to feel like doing something, but few are willing to do it regardless of how they feel. Motivation is emotional. It's unstable. It depends on your environment, your energy, your mood. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up anyway. That's what makes it powerful. Discipline is showing up to the gym when your bed feels more inviting. It's writing the chapter, even when inspiration is nowhere to be found. It's choosing the healthy meal when junk food is easier. It's having the hard conversation when silence would be more comfortable. These moments might seem small, but stacked together, they create transformation. When you train yourself to follow through, you begin to trust yourself. You build internal strength. You stop negotiating with your excuses. And over time, that trust becomes confidence. Not the loud, fake kind, but the real kind that comes from keeping promises to yourself. Discipline builds self-respect, and self-respect is where confidence begins. The truth is, discipline gives you freedom. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. When you're disciplined with your time, you get more of it. When you're disciplined with your habits, you gain more control over your results. When you're disciplined with your emotions, you become less reactive and more powerful. Discipline doesn't restrict you, it liberates you. It's not about being perfect. Discipline isn't about never failing. It's about not staying down when you fail. It's about getting back up, learning the lesson, and doing it again, and again, and again. That's how you build momentum. That's